Okay, awesome. And we are live, it seems. Um, Perfect. Well, hi everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. We're just going to give people a few minutes to filter in. We got started a little bit early so that everybody could join. And we are here today to talk about the Low Income Taxpayer Clinic at Inland County's Legal Services and all the ways that it can help you this taxpayer season. So I'm going to, like I said, give everybody a moment to join us and log on. And while we're waiting, we're going to drop a link in the comments to our Low Income Tax Clinic page on our website. So you can head there and learn some more information if that's something that you're interested. And you can also head to our website and apply for assistance if you believe that you're eligible and you have a problem that you think our team can help you with. And so, for all of us who are not tax experts, I know it can be scary and confusing to run into any issues with your taxes, but Jennifer and Peter here, they're incredible. They see hundreds of different cases. They've seen everything under the sun. So just know that your problems are manageable. People have been through them before and they've made it to the other side. So whether you're able to sort it out just between you and the IRS, or if you do need to, turn to a service like our Low Income Taxpayer Clinic for help, those options are available to you. You're not alone and you can get through it. Okay, perfect. So with that, we are at noon. So I think it's a good time to get started. So my name is Margaret Austin, and I am the Communications Manager at Inland County's Legal Services. And we are here today with Attorney Jennifer Schinke and our Low Income Taxpayer Clinic Director, Peter Lindsay.
Hello, good morning or good afternoon.
Hello, everybody.
Okay, and today they are going to go over some of the main reasons that people can get into hot water with the IRS, what you should do if you receive one of those IRS notices in the mail, and some of the common problems that our Low Income Taxpayer Clinic can help with. So feel free, if you have any questions throughout the live, you can just drop them in the comments and we'll try to get to those at the end of the presentation. Okay, so to start out, can you just tell us simply what the Low Income Taxpayer Clinic is?
So a low-income taxpayer clinic, or more commonly known by the acronym LITC, we assist low-income individuals with tax controversies that the individual has with the IRS. So simply, if the individual has a problem with the IRS, then LITC may be able to help them. Our services can range from simple counsel and advice to full representation in tax court. We are independent of the IRS and always keep the taxpayer's best interest before anything else. So the IRS is our adversary.
Okay, definitely. And so what are some of the types of cases that the Low Income Taxpayer Clinic has handled or has helped people out with in the past?
So one of our most common is when a taxpayer legitimately owes a tax debt, meaning they don't argue that the IRS is wrong, that they don't owe the debt, that they do legitimately owe the debt, they just can't afford to pay it. A good example of this is maybe not enough was withheld from a paycheck, or maybe quarterly taxes weren't paid in, and at the end on a 1099 you owe more than what you thought you would. So what we would do is we would help provide solutions to help get in compliance with the IRS so that they don't take further actions such as levying or garnishing your paychecks, or levying your property, meaning taking away your rights to sell or do things with your property. So what we would do is we'd help you get in an agreement with the IRS that would avoid those things.
So another common issue that we come across is called innocent spouse, and that's where one spouse he or she might lack the knowledge of a debt from the other spouse, and therefore shouldn't be liable for that debt. This could be in a case of spousal abuse or let's say if the other spouse has a gambling problem that the innocent spouse didn't know about. So this usually happens, when the spouse is a divorce, and the IRS is now going after both spouses independently. So if this innocent spouse believes that he or she shouldn't owe the tax debt because it was the fault of the other spouse, and the innocent spouse didn't know about it, or has reason to contest that she should be liable, then we can help the innocent spouse get relief through this method.
And another frequent issue that we do see is issues when it comes to claiming dependents and the related credits that come along with claiming those dependents. A lot of times we see these, generally speaking, it's when the parents aren't together and they're both filing their own tax returns. The issue is the child can only be claimed once per tax year. So either through the mom or the dad, but not both, or one individual, depending on the circumstances. And so then the IRS comes back. We have the situation where they get a letter or something from the IRS that says, we're disallowing this because this child, you don't qualify for this credit or this dependent. And so basically what we would do is we would help them review the 3-prong test and other parameters for claiming a child, and let them understand why they're being denied if we feel that the denial is correct based on the parameters, or in a better situation where they do meet the parameters but the IRS just doesn't see it, then help them show the IRS that they meet those parameters.
Totally. Yeah. And so we've got some of these issues that commonly come up, and I think a lot of them start with that IRS notice that comes in the mail. So what are some of the reasons that the IRS would send a taxpayer a notice?
So the IRS, they may send out all different kinds of notices. Some notices are just informational. Some notices, and the ones we deal with the most, are some type of collections notices. These notices typically start by telling you that you have an outstanding tax debt with the IRS. They state, why you owe. And then the first few notices will give you the opportunity to contest this tax debt if you have a reason. And then if you don't contest it and miss that opportunity, then they will send you multiple notices updating you about the debt and the interest and penalties that accrue. And then after that, they'll send notices informing you that they're going to start collections activity against you, and that you need to do something right now, otherwise they may garnish, levy, or lien your property. And so you definitely don't want to ignore these notices.
Right. Okay, perfect. So all those reasons, and now we get to someone actually receiving one of those notices in the mail. What is your recommendation, for the first steps that they should take once they get that notice?
Well, the first thing you want to do is you want to read and review the notice immediately. You don't want to take the stance of ignorance is bliss, so to speak. You don't want to just throw it in the trash can. You want to make sure to take care of it, because the sooner you try to take care of it, the more options you have available to you to resolve your issues with the IRS. And, they're going to send you these notices because that's, they're not going to call you or anything. They're going to send these notices. And so you want to make sure to review them and determine what action you need to take. Do you need to call them and clarify something? Do you need to enter an appearance and, enter a petition into tax court because you only have 90 days from a notice of deficiency to do that? So again, these notices are going to have deadlines. And so you want to make sure the first thing you do is review them and come up with some plan of attack. And again, we've seen all sorts of versions. We've seen pretty much all these notices. So chances are someone else has gone through the same thing. So I know it can be stressful, but hopefully if you review it and deal with it immediately, that should lower that stress level. So just open up the envelope and get the ball rolling.
Totally. Yeah, absolutely. And so what are some of the common misconceptions that people may have about working with the IRS or addressing one of these notices that comes in the mail?
So people often think that the IRS is intimidating and scary. They then try to hide from the IRS or ignore the IRS completely and hope that the problem goes away. I wouldn't say that people at the IRS are the friendliest people, all the time, but they are reasonable. So if you know how to communicate with them and provide them with the information they're looking for, mutual understanding can often be reached. And if you have difficulties with understanding them or communicating with them, and that's when you can reach out to us, and we can see if we can do that for you.
One of the most important things to keep in mind when you're dealing with the IRS is, case point, they don't want to be ignored. They want you to communicate with them. So the most important thing is to, as soon as you've looked at it, as soon as you feel you're capable of having an intelligent conversation about the issues, you need to get in touch with them. Or if you qualify, get in touch with us and we can help you get in touch with them and help you deal with the issues, because the sooner you do that, the more open they're going to be to conversations as well, because they are not going to feel like, oh, these people are just doing it this last second, they've been ignoring us. So they're more open to conversations at that point as well.
And so we find that many taxpayers get confused by the IRS process for tax collection and resolving the debt. This can cause them a lot of stress. However, the process is generally very linear and straightforward once you figure it out. That's where we can assist as well. We can help guide the eligible taxpayer through the process of how to do this, and hold their hands and see if we can do it for them.
Yeah, totally. And so now we know what the Low Income Taxpayer Clinic is. We know some of the common problems that you guys deal with. And we know kind of what those first steps need to be when you receive that notice in the mail. And so is there anything else that the average taxpayer should know about dealing with the IRS?
Well, again, so they're going to send you these notices. They have a legal requirement to send you these notices, and they have to go in a strict order and strict timelines. So you want to keep that in mind. And again, I know, especially during tax season, people get phone calls, things like that scare people, oh, you owe this tax debt, we're going to do this right now. If you don't, the IRS is not just going to call you out of the blue like that. In fact, 99% of communications with the IRS, especially, and 100% of the initial conversation with the IRS is going to come through these notices, and they're going to come, in an order. And again, you want to deal with them as soon as possible. And if they don't provide these notices, then you may have some claims for not occurring the repercussions that they're trying to make because you haven't been getting the notices. And along that same line, along with the notices, you want to make sure they have your correct address. Because if they don't have your most updated address and they start sending notices to the old address, that's still going to be considered sending you notice because it's your last known address if you have not updated them. So make sure to keep them updated with your address so any notices will get to you, because you're still going to be held responsible for timelines and any repercussions that come along with those if they sent it to the last known address, because they're not the ones that, they're in the right, they're sending it to the right address, or at least the law sees it that way.
Totally. Okay, so everybody make sure that your addresses are up to date with the IRS, and be cautious when you receive those phone calls, because a lot of these notices are first going to come to you through the mail. And so for our Low Income Taxpayer Clinic specifically, who is eligible for some of this assistance?
So here at Inland County Legal Services Low Income Taxpayer Clinic, we assist individuals who file a 1040 return, otherwise known as the personal tax return for your average individual, and those individuals that are self-employed. We don't assist corporations or businesses. We can assist individuals whose income is less than 250% of the federal poverty guideline. Also, the taxpayer cannot owe more than $50,000 for any one single tax year. We primarily serve the San Bernardino and Riverside counties. There are LITCs located throughout the United States and in almost, but not all 50 states. More heavily populated counties, such as Los Angeles, may have more than one low-income taxpayer clinic serving that area. So if you need help, there is help out there, so check to see if you qualify for services.
Yeah, awesome. So I think we're going to drop a link to some of those poverty guidelines in the comments, so if you are in one of these positions where you need help, you can check and see if you'll be eligible to get some assistance from us. And once again, you can go onto our website and apply, and that link will also be in the comments. And let's see, I don't believe that we have received any questions from this live, but if you have any recommendations for maybe some topics that we can address in future lives, please feel free to drop those. We'd love to get you guys some more information, that is kind of complicated and complex to take on your own. So yeah, that about wraps it up. This has just been a very brief introduction to the Low Income Taxpayer Clinic at Inland County's Legal Services. And yeah, please join us next time. We plan to go live again at noon on January 5th to discuss in some more details, some of the issues that we've talked about and some more ways that our LITC can be of assistance. So thank you all so much for joining us. And we hope that you have a lovely rest of your week. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.